Hello everyone, and welcome to The Grind. Now, this is going to be a bit different than what you're used to seeing. There's not going to be any video. This is strictly going to be a podcast-style recording session. And by that I mean, while some of you may be watching this on the Pokémon Black Nuzlocke Reborn, which you can find over in the playlist section, but this is also going to be the stepping stone for a singular podcast, for a series like that I want to do, where I just kind of just chat and talk about things that are, interest to me and hopefully interest to you guys too. And I figured what better way to start this out than to talk about, what started this whole thing, which was Pokemon. I mean, there's so many fans to the Pokemon genre, and for a lot of us, it started at a young age. I mean, myself, it started in the year of our Lord, 1987. No, I was kidding. But no, it started at a young age for me. I mean, I was born in 1987. Yes, I am 30 years old, even though I act like a child. And for me, what really started it off was the TV show. I used to watch the TV show so much. So dang much. I loved the Indigo Plateau series. I don't remember everything that I watched about it, but I watched a ton of it. Now for me, I wasn't really into the whole trading card thing because when it came out, I was still in middle school. And for anybody that went to Woodland Middle School down in West Palm Beach, Florida, or near Lake Worth, Florida, knows that card games were not really allowed there. It was more so, hey, you're going to go to school, you're going to wear this uniform, you're going to do what we tell you, and we're going to have block scheduling for your period. So you're going to have day 1 and day 2. So I went to class like every other day. Well, I went to some classes some days and some classes other days. We had 6 periods total. There were 3 on day 1, 3 on day 2. And it was great. I mean, I did it for 3 years. But yeah, it was more or less like it was a private school. It was like, hey, you're gonna wear a polo shirt and khaki pants, and you're not gonna be playing no games. At one point, I think I read Harry Potter. I think I did a book report on the Harry Potter series in my first, I think it was my 7th grade year or 8th grade year or something like that. But shortly after that, it was banned, at least as far as I knew, for the longest time, from being acceptable of a book report. Like, they were just like, it's too easy, it's got witchcraft in it, it's wizardry, no, that's not good, you can't do that. Getting a little, sidetracked, but that's pretty much what happened with Pokemon too. With Pokemon, on the other hand, it spawned a lot of thievery. In at least a lot of the people that I knew, which may or may not say something about how I was as a younger kid. I didn't steal anything when I was in middle school, but I seemed to attract the bad kids. Probably, I don't know why. I was probably pretty dark around that time, for family reasons. But I mean, so I never got into Pokemon the card game. What I did get into was the TV show. I identified most with Ash's kind of like introvertedness, even though I am quite the opposite. But at the time, I really identified with him, and just being that, the nerdy kid that's not very strong and wants to do great things, but not really sure how. Just has his determination ahead of him, but that's about it. So that was me. That was pretty much me. I skated by school pretty. I wouldn't say I did well. I didn't fail, but I didn't do well. By no means, I did about average the whole time I was in. And, I mean, that's fine. The ends kind of justify the means, because all that kind of led to me where I am today. Now, if there's any solace that people can take in the fact that they like stuff as a little kid, you can like things that you like as a kid, as an adult. Like me, I'm 30 years old, and I'm over here. I love Pokemon still to this day. I mean, for me, it started so in like the first gen, and then kind of stayed in the first gen. I was one of those diehards about the first 150 or 151 even, and when they started coming out with, like, I didn't really pay attention to Gen 2 or Gen 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. I didn't really pay attention to any of that because it didn't interest me. I thought, I was like, oh, they're just trying to run the franchise away, and you know, what the heck are they doing with this great, you know, this great series that they have. It wasn't until I was an adult that I actually went back and I looked through it again. And that's what makes this Pokemon, you know, as you guys know, I'm playing through Pokemon Black again. The first run was kind of, you know, kind of dicey, and I ended up rage quitting after about 10 episodes because we lost everybody. We lost, Sierra and I had named all these things, and we grew very, very attached to them very quickly. And you know, when you lose something that you're attached to, even if it's a video game character, it still hurts. It still sucks. I'm still upset over Gears of War 3, but that's beside the point. That's outside of the scope of this podcast recording. No, I definitely think that Pokemon had such a positive influence on my life, and I want to, you know, not only experience it, but also share it with the world. That's why, you know, I enjoy making these videos a lot. Out of all of them, I enjoy Pokemon. I'd say the second. Star Wars is probably my favorite, but then Pokemon Black. I thought it was gonna. I didn't know if I was gonna like it or not. I chose Black because I'd seen Team 4 Star. You guys probably know who they are. The creators of the Dragon Ball Z Abridged series. They also have a gaming channel called TFS Gaming. Well, they've done a playthrough. They did a Nuzlocke of the Pokemon Leaf Green, which was the remastered version of Red, Blue, and Yellow. So they did, well, they did the Leaf Green version, which was the one that featured Bulbasaur, and then the other one featured Charizard, the red, Fire Red. And it was so good. It was so dang good. And with them, it spawned this huge, like, this huge crowd of people that were in love with the series, even myself included. You know, we follow these guys, and, you know, we're cheering them on, and every time one of their Pokemon dies or faints and, you know, considered dead or whatever by Nuzlocke rules, we just got so excited, or not excited, we got so sad, excited. You know, we just got so, you know, disheartened by that, and then just to see, like, those moments of true anguish, and then the moments of true triumph over overwhelming odds. You know, something just happens in the game mechanics where it's just like, these games are so, you think they're programmed, they're very rudimentary games. These games are made for children, but to be able to pull emotion out of people that are my age, older, or, you know, close in age to me, it says something that's great about the whole series as a whole. The whole series as a whole. Good, nice, high five. Yeah, self clap. Self high five. No, but it was that. It was, you know, watching Lakeeger, their character, and watching them go through, and then having to, you know, come up with these backstories for all these characters, and then you just had this dream team of, like, the most, you know, misfit type characters. And these are all Pokemon that you wouldn't have even, you know, you would never think to, you know, to use in any kind of sense competitively. And so that kind of rekindled my passion for it. I ended up, right after that series ended, I went out and I spent $150 on a Game Boy Advance with a little light screen, and I bought Pokemon Leaf Green, and I played it relentlessly, which, you know, and given the success of Pokemon Leaf Green, they went through and they did Pokemon Soul Silver, which Soul Silver is the Gen 2 remaster, and it's so good. It's so freaking good. That game is amazing. They did such a great job. Like, Game Freak, the company that makes the games, they did such a good job with Gen 2. And just to see, like, all the new Pokemon was kind of, you know, it was a little bit upsetting. Like, it was hard for me to get into it because I was like, oh, this is Gen 2. I've never really liked Gen 2, but maybe I'll just give this a chance, see where it goes. And sure enough, I ended up liking it. I ended up liking it a lot. I fell in love with their Chikorita and Mr. Steak, even though, you know, Chikorita is not the best. I learned that very quickly, that Chikorita is one of the least desirable starter Pokemon. But it's fantastic that they were able to take this little guy and, you know, Lord Moonstone, Lord Saltstone, Kieran, you know, he was perfectly fine with Chikorita from the beginning, but then Grant Smith and Lanny Bator were both, you know, no, screw this thing. We should call it you know, we should call it Mistake, Mr. Steak for you know, because he's a male. You know, let's kill him off and get a new starter quickly. But they ended up keeping him for the entire run. Mr. Steak should have died so many times, and it got to the point where everybody got so upset, like everyone would gasp whenever there was any chance that Mr. Steak could perish in battle. And having that kind of like emotional involvement into a fictional character, it you know, I see the same thing happening for people that love books, that love movies, TV series. You know, people watch Game of Thrones and they're like, one of their favorite characters dies and they're devastated by it, or in that case, like every episode their favorite character dies, whatever. But you know, same thing with like you know, book series like Harry Potter, or you know, Maze Runner, or anything like that, or Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I'm just naming things randomly off the head. Or any, you know, they fall in love with these fictional characters that they know are fictional. You know it's a fake character in a fake world. Even if it's based on a true story, it's still a fake character in a fake world. And Pokemon is you know, the absolute perfect example of that, because these things are pocket monsters. If you guys didn't know, they're called pocket monsters, just so you know. They're called freaking pocket monsters. And these are animated games. And I know a lot of people will stick their nose up at it, like, how could you find any kind of enjoyment out of a fictional character or anime? Oh, you're one of those anime losers. Like, get away from me. I'm gonna go watch baseball or football, or, you know, I'm gonna go watch the grass grow, you know, while drinking a Bud Light. No, man, that's not for me. I'd rather watch my grass jump up and actually be a monster, and then fling leaves at another thing, you know, another monster, and leaves would do nothing. A leaf would not hurt a rock. It's the most ludicrous thing ever, but it's so awesome that you have this little plant guy, and he's just like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna fling leaves at it and I'm gonna kill it. It's like, oh, just for you, master, you're the best. Like, see, that's a true it's a true underdog story. Sorry, pause. I had to take a drink. I'm getting a little dry mouth. But no, like, and Gen 2 was, I love Gen 2. I don't know why I didn't like it. And that can be said about a lot of things we experience in life. It's like, I don't like this, I don't like that. Well, have you tried it? Have you experienced? Have you done research on it? Have you seen anything about it? Then no, then shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to at least try it. I can't tell you how many times Sierra's made me do something I didn't want to do, and I ended up loving it, you know? What is it? I didn't want to watch, shoot. I didn't want to watch The Producers. It's a musical with, Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I didn't want to go on, Rock and Roller Coaster at Disney's Hollywood Studios. But I did, because she asked me to, and she knew that I was terrified, but I still went on anyway, and I loved it. And I go back every chance I get now. It's just like, you can't let fear, or you can't let bias control your life. You can't. You absolutely can't. I mean, get out there and experience something for the first time and make a rational judgment about it. Like, I don't like ice cream, but that's because I've tried tons of ice cream and I don't like any of it. But did that open doors for other things? Absolutely. Like, I love going and getting an Italian ice. Like, I love Luigi's Italian ice, like the little cups, so like with the little lemon and stuff. It's so good. I love things like that. But I mean, same thing with cake. I don't eat a lot of cake. I do enjoy cake, but when I was a kid, you couldn't put cake in front of me. You couldn't put pizza in front of me. You couldn't put bananas in front of me. So it's like, well, bananas, I kind of don't like bananas still, but I still tolerate them. So it's, you gotta get out there and experience something before you hate it, you know? Having an open mind is probably one of the best things I've decided to do with my life. you know, that comes. I mean, that's a person, like, as far as like a personal choice, that definitely comes. Of course, in my life, I have things that are more important. You know, I have Sierra, and I have my family, my nieces, and my darling young nephew, whom I love to pieces. But as far, and you know, and my sister and my brother-in-law, just, and then like my dog, Mr. Kermit, who's currently sleeping right behind me. And you know, the list goes on and on. But as far as like a personal thing, having an open mind and a positive outlook on life has definitely led me to being happier. And I you know, not so much healthier. I've been kind of indulging myself on food a lot more and less on, you know, less on working out and like being active. But I'm making a turnaround on that. You can't you can't work a desk job 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then record videos for another 20 hours in a week, and then like spend the rest of the time editing and, you know, mostly just sitting on your butt watching TV and playing video games and eating like you did when you were in the military and expect to maintain, you know, that perfect weight and that perfect shape that you were in prior. But it's all good, you know. Everything in moderation, as my brother-in-law says. Everything in moderation. But, you know, going on. And I've gotten to the point now with Pokemon that I like to experience it. I think, again, you know, I'm such a huge fan of Team 4-Star. You guys should, if you guys have not checked them out, you need to go check them out. They're a fantastic group of people. When I first started my first Pokemon Nuzlocke, I ran into an issue with copyright. That's why, if you notice, the video looks a little wonky at the beginning. There's like a weird, like, please stand by thing while I'm talking to Sierra. It's because there's a content identifier out there that Nintendo has, and it looks for intros to videos. It looks for like the intro, you know, the little theatrical bit before, like the trailer or whatever, before the game starts. It looks for that, and if it hears the music or if it sees a certain pattern, it'll instantly block it, instantly flag it for copyright, make it go down, stuff like that. So I talked to, you know, Kieran from Team 4-Star, like TFS Gaming, literally like the backbone of it, because he made the whole he makes it all run. Of course he's brought other people in since, but that dude would spend like 20 hours in a day fixing something, or getting a video together that was completely failing, or doing this or doing that, just keeping the place alive behind the scenes. And that's why he was constantly off screen, because he was always sick or exhausted, or they gave him the day off because he just worked his freaking butt off. But that dude, that man, when I ran into that and I panicked, I messaged him just out of you know, it's like, I was like, dude, help, what do I do? And he answered. He didn't have to answer, but he did. And having, you know, with a person having a fan base as big as Team 4-Star does, having someone be like, hey, yeah, you know, you gotta watch out for the content identifier. What you should do is cut the first part of your video, just start the videos, start your recordings once you're already in the game. They're least likely to be able to spot you for that. Now, in no way am I saying that I'm trying to pirate or steal any kind of fame from Pokemon, no, or Nintendo in that fact. Not at all. I play these games and I share them with people in a sense to like try to share my enjoyment, share the wonder that I have for these games or this genre, or just video games in general. Because if I can spread that joy, maybe I can get somebody to be happier about life. Maybe I can get somebody to be more open-minded, have, you know, try something that they've never tried before. Or, you know, even genres that I love or games that I love. Maybe even get somebody to get out there and buy it. Or, you know, invest a little more time in it, like learn more about it. And that to me is invaluable. If I can move somebody, if I can change, like, not change them, like I don't want to change you guys, but if I can have a positive impact on someone in any way and promote a series that I love at the same time, I'm absolutely gonna do it. 100% am I gonna do that. There's no way in hell I wouldn't do that. So that's where I stand. And that's a lot of the reasons why I make all these videos. I don't do it for money. I mean, YouTube will freaking took everybody's money anyway. So I'm definitely not doing it for that. I just love video games. I love making video games. Or not making videos. I make videos of video games. I went to school for making video games, and I haven't really done that all that much since I got out of school. But that's besides the point. And going like this whole thing has kind of gone off the rails about Pokemon, but Pokemon kind of started it all. You know, I love like Pokemon, like watching Team 4 Star's Pokemon series made me want to be a YouTuber. Like made me, you know, it had a strong impact on that. And of course there was others there too, you know, the big most popular YouTubers out there, you know, they had such an influence on me in a good way. Like this is one, I love this as a hobby, or part-time really. I mean, it's really just a hobby because I'm doing it for free. It's so nice. It gives me an outlet. You know, it gives me another outlet to where I can come out and I can share and I can say hi to people that are like-minded like me, and I can, you know, I can share the games that I love with people. It's priceless. It's absolutely priceless. So, rambling on. I mean, this whole thing has just been one giant ramble. We've been going on for almost 22 minutes of just rambling. But thanks for sticking with me, guys. I appreciate it very much. So, so continuing on, the next series I watched was the Pokemon Moon Nuzlocke, and that made me want to get a 3DS. Like, I mean, I haven't bought the game yet, but I will eventually. I'm still playing through this. I'm still playing through some other 3DS games, but ultimately, it doesn't cease to amaze me what kind of things that Game Freak and Nintendo come up with Pokemon. Like having the Dark series of Pokemon, like these are like the Alolan. They're like the Dark. They're from Alola. And I'm doing finger quotes because you guys can't see me. Just so you know, for added effect, I'm doing finger quotes to no one. And watching that series, it made me, you know, and that's like series 10 or whatever, or series 8. I don't remember which one it is, but you know, it still had the same effect. I still had the same wonder, the same, you know, excitement about seeing somebody, you know, even still, like people are like, why don't you play it yourself? Because there's certain enjoyment that I get out of watching other people play games. I mean, it's more so in a YouTube kind of sense instead of in real life, because in a YouTube sense, it's already happened. It's like watching a TV show. You know, you have no idea what's gonna happen. Like, I know what choices I would have made. I know what choices I would make, you know, or have made. But watching somebody else do it, and, you know, watching their trials and, you know, their struggles, it's very entertaining. At least it is to me. So that's why I do it. And, you know, the occasional watching Markiplier lose his mind over an impossibly hard Mario Maker is quite enjoyable too. So I guess, wow, this was more so about Pokemon, but it kind of turned into like a seminar. This is all intended. This is the whole point of the podcast. I want to do this, you know, I want to do the grind. That's what I want to call it, because that's essentially what it is. It's, you know, you're working at improvements. You're working on improving yourself in the game. You're working on improving your characters, trying to level them up. And so that's essentially what I'm trying to do here. I would like to work on leveling myself up, leveling other people's up around me, if I can, if I absolutely can. And I'm gonna keep doing these. I think I really like this. I may just do it as a coinciding thing with Pokemon Black, like with the Nuzlocke, where I just kind of just record it while watching the video, and then, because I don't record it, I'm not gonna record it while I'm grinding. That's when I put music on and I'm just like chilling and just burning through some time. That's that part. I'm not gonna do that. But when it comes to after the fact, I have no problem. I could easily talk for hours. about nothing and about everything. Just ask my coworkers. No, don't ask my coworkers. They might yell at me. No, but that's essentially it. Like, that's where I stand. My reasonings behind making this. And now I'm gonna, I've been beating it like a dead horse, but that's all I got for that. Now, going back to Pokemon, I would say my favorite series, Gen 1, that lasted a long time. I was a huge fan of Gen 1 for ages. And like going back to Team 4-Star, they definitely rekindled that. But my favorite, especially the one that Team 4-Star hasn't done this yet. I haven't seen anything else on it other than what I've been playing. And I haven't played, spoiler alert, where it left off in episode 10. That was the furthest that I'd been. Oh, no, I played a little bit by myself. I got to the third gym. The third gym is as far as I've gone in this game. And Pokemon Black is my absolute favorite. I do want to play Uranium. I definitely want to play Uranium. If you guys haven't heard of Pokemon Uranium, it was two guys. Two guys spent 7 years because they love Pokemon that much. They spent a good 7 years creating an entirely new game. Standalone game. It had its own 200 Pokemon. It was based in its own region. It had its own complete storyline. It was a full game. It was up. They had it. They released the game online. It was up for less than, I think, 10 minutes on their site, and was taken down by Nintendo or by Game Freak. Yeah, it was completely taken down by them. There's and so now the only way to find it is to go through Reddit. You gotta find it. There's a Reddit. I think there's a Reddit or a subreddit for it, but it's definitely one of those games that you guys gotta check out. And while you gotta be patient with it, because you're gonna need an emulator, and if you're on a Mac like I am, it's gonna be a lot rougher. But you're gonna have to grit your teeth and bear with it. I want to get a PC literally just so I can play it. Well, there's other games, but that's the main one. That's definitely one on my to-do list once I get a PC. So, but Gen 5, I love Gen 5. I love it. I love the Oshawott, and then I love, the Sneevee or the Tepeg. I love those starters. Those starters are fantastic. It's such a cool game in that it's for the DS. This was the first major one that I've seen for the DS, and it's an entirely new concept. And it's, as you guys may have noticed, after Gen 2? Yeah, Gen 1 and Gen 2 introduced a ton of Pokemon. Well, Gen 1, of course, but Gen 2 introduced a ton of Pokemon. Gen 3 and 4, and the subsequent games that came around that time, were a lot of the repeats of the first two gens. There was not that many new ones. They kind of stopped giving out exactly how many they released. So it was definitely interesting to see that. See a game with a full 100 and something Pokemon come out. And I'm really excited to keep playing it. And I'm really excited to keep making more of these the grind, more grind podcast videos. They're gonna call it the grind. I think I'm sold on that. So definitely look for more about that. And I don't know what topics I'm going to choose yet. I clearly can't. I'm not going to do Pokemon again. You're definitely going to see it in another grind video for Pokemon Black, but I'm definitely not going to do another grind topic on them unless something cool comes out. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. If you like this podcast, please like and share. And I had something for that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.